Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
This episode of Still Got Game is brought to you by GoDaddy. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 27. Still Got Game is the official podcast of ToolToPlay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
Joel Dude I Rock Albert. We took last week off. What did you do? What's going on? Tell me everything about your life for the last 2 weeks.
Wow. Preparing my move out to sunny California, so things are hectic in the Albert household for now. But yeah, I'm real excited to move, getting my shit together, getting ready to get out there, moving across the country. We'll get to what we played, but obviously that consumed a little bit of my time as well. I had a really good time, but we'll get to that. So yeah, that's about it. Moving, shaking, doing all that stuff.
Nice.
What about you?
We just had school vacation week here, so did some hanging out with the kiddos, did some little shit around the house, went out to some arcades and all that kind of fun stuff. And I too was infatuated by something that we'll talk about during what we're playing. So not really exciting here because we don't want to dip out of order in the show.
Right.
I think we all know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right, well, why don't we jump in the show proper? We'll start with feedback from last week's show. And remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Vega comments. In case I wasn't clear in my comment last episode, when I said your show is seriously good shit, I meant it's the best shit ever. Thanks for the humor and information. So, yes, our last episode, Vega called us some seriously good shit. Seriously good. And I guess...
That's like serious.
He's like, I'm really, really serious, guys. You're the best shit ever. So thank you, Vega. Yeah, we're proud to be the best shit ever, and we're serious about it too. Dead serious. Bum bum bum. All right, and Willow comments. I'm still new to your show, but I'm really grooving on it. I started to hit up back episodes as well. Well, Willow, we are definitely something to groove to. I've seen people dance to us. I've heard people have sex to the show, but we don't want to get into that. Like this, we've had some listener comments that said that before. I'm not really sure how that's done. That's played in the background, kind of creepy, but sometimes you like these velvety tones, and you're just like, yeah.
They see Hit's bald head in the intro, and they fucking go to town.
Yeah, they're like, holy shit, that's like an ass cheek. No.
It's like a tit.
It's like a nippleless tit or an ass cheek.
Exactly.
Yes. So Willow, we're glad we can, give you a little something to listen to. So
I love that he said that he's grooving on us. I'm grooving on you guys.
Welcome to Super Sounds of the 70s.
Right?
You can definitely groove on this show, though. Right, Jay?
Yep, definitely.
All right, and last but not least, Shrike comments. I tuned in on Twitch for your past 2 shows and was expecting some WildStar content, but it was definitely lacking. Can you guys cover it more or maybe stream some during your next episode?
So this is great because someone like immediately in the channel, like just 5 minutes ago, called us scammers, that we're scamming everyone because we have a WildStar as the game we play. I mean, obviously we put WildStar as the game we play because, well, we have to put some game and because people want to see WildStar. So I guess we're scammy. I don't know.
Well, that would be the case if no one had ever played WildStar here.
That's true.
And that's not the case. So WildStar has been played. It's just not played now. I just find it more impressive that Shrike here was in... Shrike made it through 2 whole shows on Twitch with 0 WildStar and was hoping that maybe in the 3rd episode...
there would possibly be some WildStar. Well, let me, for any viewer that comes into the show and either A, asks for keys, or B, wants to know why we're not streaming WildStar... I don't want to say it's the viewer's fault, but there is an NDA on WildStar. So if you know anything about the game, there is no streaming of WildStar. If you find a channel that is streaming WildStar, it's against their NDA. The press beta access that was out there for a while, I think up to level 16, is gone. So you should never see anyone streaming WildStar unless it's coming straight from Carbine Studios. And as for the keys, they don't give away keys on streams that I've even ever seen. And Carbine almost always does it through community events or friends of friends keys, which I've seen myself. So if you're coming here to actually see WildStar, you're already mistaken because they don't stream WildStar. And if you want keys, you won't get keys here. So don't bother asking. But people will gladly make fun of you and give you pretend fake keys. They do that all the time.
Yes, yeah. Those will be given out plenty in chat. And you know what? There might be someday when that NDA is lifted, and then instantly this channel will have WildStar on it. Because
that's actually true.
I can't confirm or deny, but WildStar may or may not be installed on one or more PCs of the host or hosts of this show.
True. That's
as vague as I can get.
It's as vague as you can be.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you for the comment, Strike. And if any have feedback, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And in site-related news, Jay, I've got nothing this week.
No, I've had a busy week outside of the site itself, so I'm going to have nothing for a while I pack all my stuff and get moved on over there. Obviously, we still want to work on the site. We've got probably some larger changes that we're going to be going through in the very near future. Change the face of Tool to Play and as well as how Tool to Play works, but not for a little while at least while I get my crap together.
Yeah, the stuff that's coming is going to be it's going to be drastic, and the site is going to be like 10,000 times faster.
Oh yeah,
it has to be.
It's a big initiative. Hell, if it was 10% faster, it would be faster than most.
Yes, instead of slower than most. Right. So that is coming, and it is coming in the short term, and probably next episode or the week after, we'll start bringing you in week after week on our E3 plans, and we will keep you up to speed on those. Yep. So, but I guess on that, Jay, why don't we hop over into the one thing that we've all been playing this week? Jay, what's that one thing that everybody's playing?
I don't know. Is there some game?
Or was playing?
I don't even know what you're talking about. The Titanfall beta was released, obviously, over the week last week. So most people, at least even had a hint of what the game is, decided to download it and play it. I was one of those people. I originally got it for the PC and then got the key for the Xbox One. So I actually have experience playing it on both platforms. I loved it. I thought it was for and I hate using this word beta because let's be honest, it's not even a month away from, releasing. So it's not really a beta. It's more of a, let's see if the servers don't crash and let's give everyone a nice promotional tool to sell our game. But for that, damn good.
Oh, it was
real smooth.
Phenomenal. Yes.
I mean, they ended up opening up to everybody because they were like, fuck it, let's crash. They couldn't crash the servers. Well, they did.
Well, they crashed in the first day, and they're like, now it's fixed. Let's just let everybody in.
Yeah.
And actually, for a while in the beta, they switched it over where I think it was on Saturday or Sunday where it wasn't crashing. And they decided to migrate everybody that was on the EU server over to the US server to try to add all that extra shit onto the server to see if they could crash it. And they didn't.
They did not. They did not. It's a good sign.
I really like the game. It is the gameplay is it can be as fast or as slow as you want.
Yeah.
Everybody can get a Titan if you want. It's not like it's like that Call of Duty perk where you have to work your way for it and only the high end guys. You wait a minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever it is. Everybody can have a Titan, and you can use that Titan in many different ways. You can actually control that Titan, or you can like go into a building and be sniping and have the Titan down the bottom protecting you, or you can go, if you're doing the capture the points type game type, take a building and have your Titan outside guarding. If you're a great FPS player, you can go around shooting people. If you're not so good, you can use that little bitch pistol and auto fire on people. If you're not good at dealing with real humans, you can fight the little minion guys and take down a bunch of those grunts. Like, the game really has an appeal to, I can see why it would appeal to everybody from your hardcore first-person shooter guy to your lowest end, I barely know what I'm doing guy, and it's still fun for everybody.
So what would you say, and I don't want to get into the whole thing because we have a lot more show to cover, but what were your pain points with the game? Because for me, the only thing I didn't like was the grunts themselves. I understand why they need to be there as a gameplay element because the maps are so large and you have these Titans and you can't fill it with all those people. But I do feel there needs to be better indication on what is a grunt and what is an actual pilot. The bitch gun stuff that people talk about, I feel like the bitch gun is something that when someone kills you with it, you feel like it's cheap and bullshit, but most people can't get kills with it. I feel like it's really easy to actually defeat people with bitch guns.
You do have to get really close for it to work.
Yeah, I mean, a shotty will absolutely annihilate anyone with a bitch gun before they can usually get it off, or even a rifle. I haven't had too much problem with it, but I do feel the anger when I get killed with it. I'm like, goddamn pussy gun. Yeah. So I could see where people are coming from, but I actually don't think it's that imbalanced. But I mean,
I see what you mean. I would like a little more indication of what's a grunt and what's a human player. Usually you can tell in your death cam because the only person killing you is the pilot, not
pilot, right. You die by a grunt, like you just kind of quit.
Yeah, you're just like AFK.
Yeah, because and the AI really isn't that smart. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, because I don't want, my big problem with grunts is that I don't like when AI has a bearing on my skill in the game versus another player. That's the only thing I don't like about having grunts within the game. I understand the need to have them there. I just feel like I would like to have at least a couple maps where it's just true player on player fighting. So
see, I don't know. I think that it adds to the it's not confusion, but it adds to, if you were only playing a game with a certain number of players versus a different number of players, every time you saw someone, it's another player, just like every other game. Here, you're like, well, I'm going to go around this way and come in from the back, and you see a bunch of guys there. And of course, since they're all huddled together, you know that they're fucking grunts, but still, it's something, it's not like a shield, but it's like that first layer. So you have to fight your way through it to get to the guy. And that guy knows that you're fighting the guys downstairs because he can hear them going down. So it's his first warning system. If you don't treat them like guys and you treat it like some kind of shield you had to knock down.
Yeah.
It really does fit the gameplay mechanic. I know it's annoying, but there's also something rewarding when you finish a game. You have 5 pilot kills, you have 7 Titan kills, and you have 39 grunt kills.
Grunt kills.
Okay. Oh yeah, I did pretty good. I killed 49 guys there. Come on.
It almost reminds me of like a MOBA, right? Because it's like how you farm lanes and stuff in MOBAs. Yep. It does have that feeling of like you can farm if you want to. If you want to just sit in a corner and farm grunts all day and not kill a pilot, you totally can. And if you do that, you will help the win. So because obviously you have a limited amount of grunts, and then you win by those points. So I think it does create a different layer of the game, which is nice for sure.
It makes the game more approachable to a multitude of FPS players, because if it really just poured, if it was instantly only for the Call of Duty guys or only the hardcore Halo guys, all of a sudden you alienate a huge part of your audience.
Yeah.
And everybody I know that's played this game loved it.
I would say I didn't hear too much bad feedback from it.
No, and I think that has to do with it. It's because there's so many different ways to play. It's so, you can be the guy that hangs back. You can be the guy that's out front. You can be the guy that rides the Titan. You can be the guy that just sends your Titan out to kick ass and you just guard it. You can be the guy that's just capping points.
Yeah. And I guess that's part of it. Because I do prefer, I actually don't like being in Titans, believe it or not. I feel like I'm maybe the only guy, but I like to just play it in FPS as like a dude. So normally if I get mine, I just put them on follow and I just go around shooting people. So yeah, I do like that. I like that it has a lot of style. And the Source engine, after all these years, if you guys didn't know, it's built on Valve, which is ironic because it will be on EA's Origin, not on Valve's Steam. But they built it off of Valve's Source engine. It still looks good. I mean, that's a 10-year-old engine that they've been hacking for years and years and years.
Oh yeah, they keep giving it incremental updates.
I shouldn't say it's not like version 1.0 or anything, but still, for an engine as old as it still performs really quite well. It's not the most beautiful game in the world. I think it's a little dull. But it does perform very well, and it's going to work well on 360 and every other system. PC turned all the way up on my system, looked really good. So, yeah.
That's another thing I heard too, was that initially the PC version looked phenomenally better. Then after they made that mid update over the weekend, there was all kinds of new shader and particle effect stuff that showed up on the console version that kind of equaled out the two. But
I mean, it makes sense. It's the Source engine, which is obviously built for PC, so it should technically perform better or easier, right? So yeah, that's good though. Good stuff.
All right. Well, on that, Jay, why don't we hop over to the new releases? First new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it's Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and this is out for the Xbox One and the 360. This is PopCap's third-person shooter meets tower defense game that took the EA press conference by storm last year at E3. It actually led by fooling people into thinking it was Battlefield, but that's okay. It's entirely built in the Frostbite 3 engine and looks fantastic. It's class-based with different plants fitting the traditional class models, everything from your basic soldier through your sniper. Full complement of classes. It features four-player online co-op or couch co-op, as well as a 24-player multiplayer mode where you play either 12 plants versus 12 zombies. You're on either team. Works out well either way. There's no early review scores out for this yet, but the game is priced right at only $40. So I'm giving this a must-buy, and we know we're getting ours tomorrow. And
yeah, actually, it's a must-buy for me too. It was one of the things we saw. And honestly, the price has almost everything to do with it. The game looks great, but for $40, it's priced at it's not a $60 game. You're not going to be totally pissed if you lose out on it, but it looks like a really fun game. PopCaps makes great games, right? So for $40,
and the shooter aspects of this, it's not like it's every other PopCap game. This is, and the guy, the president of PopCap was there. He's like, we've never done a shooter. This is fucked up. Like, what are we doing? But when you saw the gameplay, you saw like how well they took the traditional class-based model,
right,
and they applied it to different types of plants. And they made it really fun. And we saw that boss battle where the plants coming up out of the graveyard and they're taking them down. And it seems like a fun game. It seems like a great thing to go through co-op with your buddies. And then, you just want to do a little multiplayer that's, a little bit of third-person shooter, a little bit of, the tower defense part is really the cards that you get and the incremental stuff you unlock. And you're like, okay, I'm going to put this here, I'm going to put this here, put this here. But then it's really a third-person shooter at that point, and it seems like a lot of fun. And I know we can't wait to start it tomorrow night. So
yeah, I'm actually pretty psyched for that game. It's been a while since a game that's obviously we've seen the releases in the last month. It has not been a lot of games period released, so it's finally cool to have a game that's not only new and coming out, but it's also $40. So yeah.
Well, tomorrow night I'll be playing with Electrify and my good buddy Mr. GBMS, but we're always looking for a fourth, Jay. If you want, perfect. It's like our Borderlands crew back together again.
Yeah, it's back.
So we'll be playing that tomorrow night then, and next week we'll fill you all in on how it was. The only other new release out this week is Thief, and it's out for the Xbox One, the PS4, the 360, the PS3, and the PC. This is Square Enix's reboot of Eidos's popular Thief series, and it's the first game in the series since 2004. So that's literally a 10-year gap between games. This is the fourth game in the series, and like the previous games, your primary game mechanic is stealth, with combat really as your last resort in the game. So kind of a pussy game. The game looks stunning and plays well for a stealth game, which is not obviously my cup of tea. I like to go in there run and gun. It's been getting mixed reviews early on here. Some as low as the 6s, some as high as the 9s. So the average is right around the mid 7s, but you just don't know what you're going to get until all the review scores are out there. If you're a stealth junkie or you just love the Thief series, this is probably a must pick up for you, but there's nothing I like less than hiding in games. And as beautiful as this game looked and as cool as all of the presentations we ever saw for like the last 3 E3s and PAXs and everything else, it's just not my kind of game. As much as I would like it to be, it's just not.
I've actually heard really bad things about this game anyway. If you go into Reddit right now and you go into the game subreddit, they're just shitting on Thief right now. They're saying a lot of it's reused, completely old elements that they're bringing back in the game, nothing new, that it crashes incessantly. This was from essentially what was a pre-release copy, but it was a finished product that was leaked onto the internet that people were playing, and it was nuking computers and blowing shit up, and it was a giant piece of shit. I think that's why it's getting a 6. I think the 9s you're seeing are probably from some handshakes and high fives. That's all I'm going to say. Because I see what you knew. Yeah. I don't believe it's a 9s game. But hey, I used to like the Thief series back in the day, but I never have been a sneaky type of dude. I just like to shoot shit, so I wouldn't pick it up anyway. But I would at least wait to buy. I would call that a wait to buy, even if you're into sneakies, because I think you'd want to see if maybe there's some patches or things that could come out for it. I don't know.
And see what the actual user reviews end up being.
Let's see what those reviews are.
Because that's the tough thing about Metacritic is even when you have 10 or 12 review scores, that's only 10 or 12. In the end, the very end, there's still going to be only like 30 review scores from publications. Whereas once that user review thing starts filling in, you can have hundreds and hundreds and thousands there. So let your friends tell you about it. And if it's your kind of game, if you're just like, I played all the Thieves and I have to play this one, well, then there's no stopping you. Just fucking order it or whatever. But Or if you're like, I love fucking all the Tom Clancy games where I have my infrared goggles and I just hide the whole time because I don't even like to fight or shoot or kill things. Well, this is your game too. Or if you just like, I don't even like to turn on my console because that's the way I kick ass. Like, this is for you. This is your game. But if you like to actually kick ass, maybe Titanfall's more your speed.
It's like a game where like you turn it on and the game just tells you to hide under your couch. Yeah. And then 2 hours later, you turn off the game. That's the game.
Achievement unlocked. As long as you didn't touch the controller, after 2 hours, it's like
down, you go hide under the couch, and then it lets you know when you can come out. And you're like, oh man, this game's amazing. I hid for 2.5 hours. No one found me.
You successfully avoided the enemy. Achievement unlocked. Bling. Like, yeah, it's just not my kind of game. I like to be in the fray. I don't like to be a pussy.
I like to actually play the game.
Yeah, playing is key. That's why it has a controller.
Right, so you can move and shoot and do things, not just go hide in the corner for an hour and a half.
Yes, I can sell you a console for $10 that it's gonna look like cardboard, but you can play all the hiders you want, and I will call you up and I'll tell you how well you did.
That's what we should do. Is we should resell the Ouya or whatever it's called, that piece of shit, and we'll just sell it as a hiders only game. There's no game there. You just pick it up and they go hide in your closet for an hour. You come back out, and shut it off.
Yeah, you're the winner.
It's fantastic system.
You've won.
9 out of 10.
Oh. All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop over into gaming news? First story!
First story, not really gaming related, but big enough, and it's on everyone's console anyway, that it is news. And the news is Netflix is going to pay Comcast for a better connection and speed. So pretty much everyone that has a system or a tablet or a smartphone or anything that does anything with technology probably also has Netflix on that platform. And if you're using such a device to watch your Netflix on a Comcast network, your speed and stability should be a lot better in the near future. So Netflix and Comcast have announced a joint partnership in which Netflix will pay the internet and cable service provider for direct access into its broadband systems. Netflix previously worked with the middleman company that you may have heard of called Cogent, through which they bought their bandwidth, but now the company has been cut out of all further proceedings. The Wall Street Journal reports that the deal was originally struck in January, but it wasn't until today that the companies released a joint statement confirming that, in fact, there is this new relationship. January was also when Washington, D.C. appeals court voided an anti-blocking and anti-discrimination rules that the FCC used to enforce net neutrality, which is still a big topic. And if you guys love your internet and you love your freedom, I'm sorry I'm going on a mini tangent. Make sure they don't take it away from you. Right, your government. Anyway. So, bad news or good news? Obviously, we've heard, if you don't know the side story, there has been talks that your internet is secretly being throttled whenever you're using these services like Hulu and Netflix and such. If you guys have been reading it. So, and it was. And it's technically illegal, really.
Now it's technically legal. That's
legal.
That's the problem. See, everybody, this news came out and it was like, oh, this is great news. Comcast and Netflix now have this agreement. They're paying them and everything's cool. No, it's not cool. Well, it may be cool for you. Now your Netflix, you don't have to wait for it to buffer and it's playing better for you. But really, this is bad news for everybody.
Horrible news.
This is just another door into the net neutrality thing. As soon as that court stomped down the initial, net neutrality is fucked up. This can never happen. And once they turn that over for now the gates are wide open and people are saying that Verizon is throttling their bandwidth. They're having trouble getting connections to Comcast or to Netflix and all these other services. I know that now when I fire up YouTube videos on my Xbox One, what used to start right away now, and I'm not saying it's happening, but I'm saying I suspect it is, because now I start a video and it starts up and then it pauses after a half second. I see the spinning circle for a couple 10, 20 seconds. Then the video plays.
Yep. This is bad news. This means you've got to pay. Now, if you're a big company like Netflix, it's okay. You pay to get your shit across faster. But if you're any Joe Schmo and you want to, like, say me and Derek want to create the next YouTube, which we will. When we do that, we're going to have a lot of trouble because we don't have money to pay Comcast to make sure that our videos get to your guys' computers faster than YouTube's does. This is one of the reasons that you see companies like Google say, well, fuck the middleman. We're going to create our own broadband network so that when you pop on our pipelines, you get everything just as fast as you would anywhere else. So, I mean, it's good because in a way, the free market is working because Google is actively trying to take that over. But it's also bad in the sense that you can have someone like Netflix pay Comcast directly to give you your movies faster. So this is a bad thing. You think it's good because you're getting your movies faster, but in the reality of the situation is you need to get off your fat fucking asses and start going to your governors and everyone and breaking down doors and saying, we want free open internet for everyone. Speed should be the same regardless of wherever it's coming from.
Yes.
This is provided to you by no,
yeah, no, that is so true. And you know what? In your state, if you Google net neutrality or anti-net neutrality, there's going to be some website somewhere that's like, click here and like, what state are you from? And it's going to automatically write this letter for you. You only have to click send, and it's going to be it's going to be good for everybody. So you don't by letting this happen with Comcast, it opens up the door for everybody. Mm-hmm. And maybe Verizon can afford their shit, but Joe Podunk Hillbilly, like somebody here in chat's got to be from the South, and they're like, OMG, my internet provider isn't Comcast or Verizon, it's AssNet, and AssNet doesn't have enough money to pay for they can't do this, and they're only the small ISPs, they don't actually own the bandwidth like the big ISPs. Right, they broker this from the big guys. So they get fucked in this whole thing because if 90% of the traffic going through your AssNet is, Netflix or whatever you're watching there, Comcast is going to try to push that down, or whatever major network provider is going to try to push that down on your little mini hillbilly network provider. And they're not going to have the money to pay that. And you're going to suffer. Not only then is your video traffic going to suffer, all your traffic is going to suffer because all their stuff is lumped into one lump envelope.
Right. It's really bad. I mean, I feel like this net neutrality, just the name of it, confuses a lot of people. They don't even understand what they're fighting for. And I think that's a problem. The message really needs to get out there. Someone's got to, a lot of tech sites have really helped in pushing that forward. But for the normal layman, it doesn't really come across. Like, people don't really seem to understand what it is. So, and that's the scary part. I think it's a hard message to even sell.
Yeah.
Let us smart people explain it to you. You don't want it, right? That's what we're saying. Letting you know.
It's not something you want. By giving it a really ironically neutral name, they're like, oh, it's net neutrality. Right. Everybody likes neutrality. Nobody likes fighting. It's neutral. But no, it's not what what you think it is. So you want to fight, especially those of you in rural hick places, because you will be the most fucked by this.
Oh yeah. So. Small businesses, anyone that doesn't have a fight in this game, it's gonna be fucked. All right. Next story. Microsoft's Titanfall. To me, this is huge news, by the way. And why don't we get this? Microsoft's Titanfall push sees UK price cut and a US bundle. This is good shit. I'm pretty happy about this.
Who does this come from, Jay?
Gamma Sutra. So just 3 months after the launch of the Xbox One, Microsoft is reducing the price of its console to coincide with the hotly anticipated Respawn Entertainment title Titanfall. You might have heard of it. We talked about it a bit. From March 11th, U.S. customers will be able to pick up the Xbox One with Titanfall for the exact price it was without it months ago at $499.99. Currently, as you know, the console alone will cost you the same price at retailers. Note that Microsoft says this price is for, quote, a limited time only. It's a good reason to finally buy the system if you've been pussying out for the last 4 or 5 months. In the UK, Microsoft is taking it a step further. This is why I wish I was there. From February 28th, the official price of the console will be lowered to $399.99, which is $666 US. That is insanely expensive. Down from the current price of $429.99, $716 US. Once Titanfall is released in March, UK gamers will be able to pick up the game for the Xbox One for the same price. Microsoft is looking to show consumers that its Xbox One console is a great value, especially when compared to the $399.99 price of the competition PS4. It's a big move. Yeah. Smart move. Right?
It's what you do when you have a title that's going to be a winner, and you know it.
When you know your competition is going to have the title. I don't know if the PS4 really got a title coming out soon. It's escaping me. I don't know if there's. I don't think there's anything coming out.
Oh, there is. It's actually we'll hold that off till I saw Altius asked about that.
So, okay. So I mean, but this is a direct kick in the balls. It's a smart move. Yeah. Lower the product. Do it on a game that everyone's going to buy, and maybe move some more hardware.
How can you go wrong? Like, you can go out today and buy it for this price, or you can wait 2 weeks and buy it for this price and get what is going to be the number one game on this console absolutely free.
Yeah. No brainer.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
There's a story here. It's like, do you want shit cheaper? Yeah, you probably do.
Do you want something for free? Yes. Good story.
Great story.
Way to go, guys. Yeah. It's the non-story story.
Yeah, it's a non-story story. It's big news. Not much to talk about. Next story, Rise, the game that I despise. It rhymes for a reason. The Rise Smart Glass Challenge Editor has quietly been killed by Crytek and Microsoft. This is via Polygon. So if you don't know the game, Rise Son of Rome came out a little bit ago as a launch title. I wasn't a fan of it. But it will not be getting its once promised challenge editor for its cooperative Gladiator mode, and Microsoft confirmed this to Polygon this week. Crytek design director Patrick Estevez discussed plans for the editor with Polygon during a demo of the game at last year's Gamescom in August. At the time, Estevez said that the game would include an editor that would allow players to quickly put together maps of challenges and objectives in Rise's cooperative Gladiator mode using your phone through a smart glass app. Once created, players would have the ability to upload it for a set period of time. So you can, I mean, it sounded like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
So,
a free value add? Yeah.
Exactly. The more people who completed the player-created challenge, the bigger the in-game reward would be. Crytek developers also plan to keep an eye out on the uploads and flag the best creations to make it easier for the community to find it, sort of like Bungie has done with their maps. It was, again, cool idea. Reach for a comment this week. Microsoft spokesman said that is no longer the plan. Quote, after careful consideration, we have decided to cease development of Rise Son of Rome's challenge editor and focus on improving and expanding fans' experiences with the game through both free content updates and, you guessed it, paid add-on packs. Money, 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 money. Quote, we look forward to sharing more details soon. So sources tell Polygon the decision was driven in part by the lackluster review scores for the game. Rise received an average Metacritic score of 60 and an average user score on Metacritic is 5.9. Not so good. Earlier this week, Microsoft announced the money, money, money Rise Son of Rome Mars Chosen Pack. The $8.99 download pack that hits this February 20th, which includes a new legendary character skin, 5 new maps, and a survival mode. So, money?
I don't understand this. So, let's look at it this way. Rise was one of these really polarizing games. It got great reviews and it got shit reviews. Not only from critics, but from people. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. Tiff was one of the people that loved it. I know a bunch of people like you that played it didn't like it so much. One thing everybody agreed on is probably one of the best looking Xbox One games out there.
Yeah.
Bar none. So now you have something that you have this title where in order to sell more copies, you need kind of something else because you have to overcome these negative reviews. So if you came in over the top and you said, hey, look, boom, here's this free update, Smart Glass, you can take this big fucking chunk of Rome, create this fucking multi-point gladiator bullshit, whatever. I don't even know what the fuck it is, but it sounded fucking awesome. So let people create that, share it, and if people like your shit, you get something for it. People are liking it. People are hearing about this. You're telling your friends. More people are getting the game. It seemed win-win for everybody. So unless like they have some statistic where they're like, how many people are still playing Rise on their Xbox One? And it's like 2 guys. Well, then it makes sense. But I can't see any other reason why you would scrap this over DLC, where if no one's playing your game, who's going to buy the DLC?
Nah, I guess that's true. I mean, you've already basically put a dagger or a gladiator sword, if you will, in the heart of the game.
Oh, look what you did.
I did that.
So yeah, it's right though. Like it's, if you want to appeal to the audience that bought your game, do you want to try to sell them something? Or you want to give them something for free that's like, hey, you know what? You bought this fucking game. You support us. You gave your word of mouth to your friends. You told them how much you liked it, how good the graphics were. Here, have this fucking bullshit smart glass app that took us 20 minutes to develop. Like, what the fuck? Just fucking release this shit. Fuck you. Fuck you, Crytek. Fuck you, Microsoft.
Yeah, it seems like a money grab for a game that probably did not perform to the investors' desired number.
And now they're fucked either way.
It's a money grab. They're going to try to get the money out of that $8.99. Probably won't happen. But sadly, it's the way it goes.
If you spent $60 on a bad bag of ganj, then it being oregano, you're going to go back to the same dealer and pay him another $9 when he's like, this is really a nug of dank. No, you're not.
No, seriously, this time it's real, bro.
Yeah, I fucked up last time. This is like fucking. Oh my god, this is Purple Haze crossed with fucking Skywalker OG, and look, it's got purple hairs and shit. And you get it home, and it's like a piece of carpet lint.
Right.
Yeah.
For $8.99.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Sick burn.
Yeah, thanks.
Sick burn. All right, next story. Layoffs cutting BioShock developer Irrational Games down to a team of 15. Ooh. So BioShock developer Irrational Games is being cut down to a team of 15 as co-founder Ken Levine revealed in an update on the studio's website. The developer was sitting strong at 200 employees fewer than 2 years ago. So from 200 to 15. Now, the reason this is such a big story, and it's kind of crazy, is because it's not that the company is doing poorly. They're doing fantastic. Obviously, if you played BioShock, you know that it's a critical success. It's one of the only very few single-player games that actually does extremely well in a multiplayer world. But Ken just decided he wanted to go another way. So, quote, I am winding down Irrational Games as you know it. I'll be starting a smaller, more entrepreneurial endeavor at Take-Two. This is going to mean parting ways with all but 15 members of my current Irrational team. Levine wrote, quote, there is no good way to lay off people. And our first concern is to make sure that the people who are leaving have as much support as we can give during this transition, end quote. Levine says the current staff will have access to the studio for a period of time to say their goodbyes and put together their portfolios, and that other Take-Two studios will be available to discuss opportunities within the company. Third-party developers and publishers will be able to participate in a recruiting day hosted by Irrational Games, offering outgoing employees interviews for other positions. So this is weird, right? This is a guy going out on top is the only way I can really like deal with this in my brain. Ken Levine is known as sort of a genius, actually, to a lot of people when it comes to building games, especially with AI and what he's been doing with the BioShock series. If you've ever met him, he's pretty open and loves to actually talk about. He's a guy that loves to actually talk about video games, not just build them.
Oh yeah, we see him at PAX East every year because he's from Boston, and he's always in everybody's booth. He's asking all the right questions. He's genuinely excited to see and absorb games.
Right. So this move is not, I guess, shocking given the type of person he is. But still, what it comes down to is there were 200 employees essentially that just had to go away. Well, 15 of them survived, but that's not good odds if you're working there. No. The news out from the update from this story is that the recruitment day that they've been talking about has seen pretty much. I mean, because again, this is a company that everyone wanted to work for, a game that everyone wanted to be on. So word in the streets is that everyone's going to this recruitment day, and hopefully a lot of these people will be placed in different places. This is the nature of the games world anyway. We've talked about this on the show a lot. You know, normally if a game doesn't do well, you'll see this sort of turnover. You know, one guy goes to work for another company. It's just weird when the game does really well and they just shut it down anyway.
Yeah, this last BioShock, for all intents and purposes, was one of the more expensive games the last couple of years. I remember hearing these huge cost numbers for it. And it may not have done as well as it could have because it came out, once again, near the end of a console's life cycle. You know, there was a lot of stuff working against it. It still did well as a game. I guarantee you it broke even, if not made money. But, yeah, sometimes all these companies want to cut their losses. But the upside of this is, and you kind of briefly mentioned it, this career fair or whatever that Ken Levine set up at Irrational to bring in local game devs and everybody else to try to pick up these people. It got so big they can no longer hold it at Irrational. They have now some ballroom in a hotel somewhere. I think there's 110 companies coming to try to bring in all these people. That is phenomenal. That is that goes to show when you put out a quality piece of work like the BioShock series, people understand that you are the talent that they want, and they come out of the woodwork to get you. So these people are going to land on their feet, but it's just the whole thing came as a huge surprise. It's just weird to walk in and say, you guys have done a great job, and to reward you, you're all fired. Mm-hmm. But the good news for Ken, and the good news, I guess, for gamers, is that this whole reason that he's doing is he wants to
essentially wants to pare things down, which we already know. But his goal is to make a narrative-driven game for the core gamer that is highly replayable. And that's all he really said about it. But he's always been a storyteller more than like a shooter or any other. He likes to tell stories. That's Ken's deal. And so the idea of having what appears or sounds like to be more of a serial content type of game could be really exciting. And a 15-person team is what he built Irrational on before it became its 200-plus behemoth. So, I mean, it's in good hands, right? I mean, we're not losing anyone in this. We're actually gaining a whole new company. And he's going to be at Take-Two. It's like he's literally just purging and starting over. Same company, same everything,
He's got so much going on too. He's got he's writing the script for the new Logan's Run reboot.
Right. Yeah.
Which is his mind works way faster than companies can make games behind him.
Yes. Exactly. So Derek, what do you think of that story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, we'll hop over to the mailbag and voicemails. Altius asks, which do you think will drive more console sales in March? Titanfall for the Xbox One or Infamous Second Son for the PS4?
Titanfall.
Yes. All right. The Infamous series was pretty good. It was, it was your Crackdown for the PlayStation people. Maybe Crackdown meets something else for PlayStation people, but it's not going to drive console sales.
No.
There's no PlayStation fanboy that really wants the next Infamous game was like, I love my PS3, but I can't get the PS4 until Infamous is out because that's my drop dead title. I like Infamous Second Son is I can't wait for that. Nobody has ever said though. That's the first time those words have ever come out of a mouth. Was right then and there. I created those words because nobody said that. People were like, Infamous Second Son, that'd be pretty cool if I already have one. Whatever, maybe I'll pick that up. But nobody is like waiting on this. Meanwhile, there are people that are like, Xbox One, there's not really a lot of good launch titles, but as soon as one of these next gen fucking shooters comes out, like either Titanfall or the next Halo game or Destiny. Oh my God, Destiny! Like it doesn't matter. I'm gonna pick up an Xbox One at that point. Well, here's the one. Here's fucking Titanfall. That is the one that people have been waiting for. Not one of the launch titles. Not Call of Duty that was also out for last gen. And if you didn't like a hack and slash Rise or a hack and slash Dead Rising or more racing that's been the same since 1974, like this was your first real next gen title. And that's what people are waiting on. And I think you're right. Titanfall is going to sell more Xbox Ones, 10 times more than Infamous is going to sell PlayStation 4s. Now, there's no way to quantify this because people are buying these things anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. But I will say this, you tie, not even just let's take the two games and pretend they don't exist, or let's pretend that they're the same quality. You're already getting a deal now with the Xbox. You get it for free. Yeah. So, I mean, like...
You're getting what's the most anticipated title, the first most anticipated non-launch title, you're getting for fucking free if you buy your Xbox now.
Right. So, I mean, like, if you were to even say that the games were equal, which I do not think they are, I mean, you're picking yours up for free if you buy the Microsoft side of things. So, it's a no-brainer in two different ways. A, it's a better game, and B, it's free. No. I win.
Yeah, I don't understand how this is... All right, we're going to throw this out to the listeners. I'm expecting no feedback for this, but if you are someone that is either on our Twitch chat right now, you're watching on YouTube, or you listen to the podcast, if you do not yet have a next generation console, or you only have an Xbox One, were you waiting, or are you waiting for Infamous Second Son before you pick up a PS4? Is that your go-to title? And I have a feeling that we're not getting any response for this, but
if the answer is yes, then I think you have serious problems.
Or you're lying just to get on the show.
That could be
this show really is not worth you lying to get on.
Yeah, no. You'll never live that down.
You're gonna lie to get on a show. Lie to Oprah. Tell her you have 5 dicks.
Yeah. Get on Oprah. She'll give you a car. You're not getting shit from us anyway.
But she's like, so sorry you have 5 dicks. Here's a car. Like, you can win there. We're not gonna give you a car because you have 5 dicks, or you like Infamous Second Son. We're gonna make fun of you.
Everyone watching the show, look under your chair right now. You'll find keys to nothing because there's nothing under your chair. Jesus Christ!
But look at that guy. He likes Infamous Second Son. Right. Yeah. Yes. That's how it's going to happen here. But seriously, if you do like it, you don't even have to call it. Just send an email, and we won't even tell your name. If you ask to be anonymous, we won't say who it was.
Protect your identity. Yes, you don't look like a retard.
All right. Well, if any of you have feedback, give us a call, 773-527-2961, podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors! Remember, by supporting our sponsors, you help to support Still Got Game. GoDaddy, starting at less than $5 a month. Web hosting from GoDaddy.com includes 99% uptime, 24/7 support, and free access to the GoDaddy hosting connection. That is your place to quickly install over 50 applications like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, EROS Commerce, and more. Go to tooltoplay.com/GoDaddy for great deals on new .com registrations or renewals starting at just $1.99. Some restrictions apply. See site for details. Get your piece of the internet at GoDaddy.com. Boom! Now, if you want to read like that ends with a fucking big boom, and you have something to sell, give us a shout. Podcast@tooltoplay.com, 773-527-2961. Let us know what you want to sell. We'll tell you if you're going to pay us. You'll pay us. We'll sell it with a fucking read like that. If you want Jay to do a read, we'll have him do a read. And that's all it takes. Boom, done.
Yes, boom, done.
Right, Jay?
Boom, done.
All right. I'm going to put Jay on the spot. He doesn't know this is coming.
Oh, God.
Just in case someone wanted to advertise Jay and they wanted to do an advertisement, why don't you read the GoDaddy spot for them, Jay?
Why would you want me to do this now? GoDaddy, starting at less than $5 per month. Web hosting from GoDaddy.com includes 99.9% uptime. Oh my golly gee whiz. 24-hour technical support and free access to GoDaddy's hosting connection. The place to quickly install over 50 applications like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, EROS Commerce, and more. Go to tooltoplay.com/GoDaddy for great deals on a new .com registration or renewal starting at $1.99. Some restrictions apply. See site for details. Get your piece of the internet, GoDaddy.com.
See, that's a different kind of read. You can buy either of these reads. You want to sell something? You just say who you want to read it. We can alternate sentences. We're not going to do that for you today. We'll save that for next episode.
We're not doing that.
But yeah, you can custom tailor your program with us, and if you have something to sell, let us know. And we have had many small investors come in with their iPhone apps, their whatever over the years, and we'll make it worth your while. And if you are a small developer and you're just looking to get some exposure, we'll cut you a deal.
Good deal.
All right. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/Tool to Play. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_game. I, king of the internet, god of everything that's holy, at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
And you can find me at twitter.com/DudeIRock.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Trademark. Facebook.com/Tool to Play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/DudeIRock.
All right. We also have a YouTube channel. You can find it at youtube.com/Tool to Play. You can find this show there. You can find if Jay ever does another show with LB. You can find Thick and Thin with LB and Duty. You can find Hit Show, Hits Shit, Quick Shit, Hit Bit Shits, or whatever Hit's calling his show these days. It's fucked up. Hit, what's your show called? Unmute yourself.
No, Hit.
He doesn't even know how to unmute himself. He's too
high.
high.
He's too high.
He's way too high.
Quick hits. That's it.
Quick hits. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. He's renamed his show back to Quick Hits.
That's boring.
But there was a while where it was Hits, Quick Shit, Nick Hit, whatever he called it. So you can find all the shows there. Subscribe, and you'll be notified when they come out. We also have an iPhone app. Hit the iTunes App Store, pull it down on your iPhone. You get all the Tool to Play content you want. Plus, all of our YouTube content is right there. So if you forgot to go to YouTube because youtube.com/Tool to Play was too hard to remember, well, now it's being pushed to your phone. You're like, holy shit, there's a new episode of Still Got Game. Let me unzip my pants here and get ready to take care of business. Like, whatever you do during Still Got Game, you can totally do that. And you're notified by the Tool to Play app. It just happens. Yeah. And you know what? If you need a soft talking to me on the show, maybe next time I'll start. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still Got Game, episode 27. Still Got Game is the official podcast of tooltoplay.com.
Silky smooth.
I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel. Dude, I rock.
So yes. If you need a show like that, we'll give you a show like that. But we digress.
Deeply.
And we apologize. All right. So like I said, download the app and you can jerk off to the show, or you can rub your clitty or whatever you do to the show and have a good time. Also, please rate and review our podcast in iTunes. Once again, this is only episode 27 of Still Got Game. It had 20 so episodes of Gaming Under the Influence, and before that, 200 and something episodes as Tool to Type Radio. But the problem is those reviews and ratings do not carry over when we rename the show. So please go in there, give us your 5-star reviews, give us great ratings, tell people why you love the show and why they should listen or watch to. And it would really mean a lot to us. And, you know, I do go in every week and I see I know how many people watch the show here on Twitch. I know how many people then watch it on YouTube. And I know the thousands and thousands that listen to it. And I know that less than 1/100th of 1% of you actually goes and does this. So, you know, I can see maybe if you don't have a domain to register and you want to fuck us over and you don't want to go to tooltoplay.com/GoDaddy and throw a little something back to us by registering a domain, because nobody has since GoDaddy became our sponsor. But, you know, one of you must need a domain. Like, I have a hugecock.com. Like, just get something, make yourself feel good. But if you don't, at least come in here on iTunes. It costs you nothing. You don't have to buy a domain name. Just give us a review and just spend 2 minutes of your day. Like, the next time you're in iTunes, just go there and be like, oh yeah, I'll take care of the guys. Give them a courtesy reach around, whatever. You know, just give us something, right?
Tickle the balls. That's all we're asking.
Yeah, just give us a little something on the side. Yeah, help us out.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, please join us each and every Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/tooltoplay, where we are live here every week. And there is a chat room that goes apeshit here. They constantly contribute to the show. They laugh at our jokes. They really laugh when we go on massive train wrecks like our soft talking intro to the show that we just did at the end here. But, you know, it's definitely, you can contribute and you can help out on the show if you come there live. It's definitely a different experience than you will get either on YouTube or on iTunes. This is the only place you get the live, unadulterated version of the show. There's no other way to get it.
Nope.
All right. Well, I guess on that, Jay, why don't we wrap this episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Duda Rock Albert.
And a Dufresne crawled through a mile of shit. Okay, that was the worst Morgan Freeman ever.
Wow.